Hello there, this is Ben Williamson. Just wanted to show off a calculator program I've been working on for a while for teching for guitar, bass, and such. It's still in the works. As you can see, I just have it written version 0.4. Welcome to the Guitar, Bass, Drum Technician. Ben Williamson, copyright 2014. No guitar and bass. I cannot process wound string yet. I would have to tear apart so many wound strings to calculate individual things. I mean, some companies use different materials for different wrapping wire, and I don't want to have to go through that. It's too much. Anyway, your string and your instrument. Let's choose percussion. That's what I'm going to show off. We have tension, cavity resonance, and the drumhead vibrational modes. I think everyone should know about these two. These contribute to tone a bit as well as the material of the drumhead. But let's move on. See, drum property, tension. Now, let's say we're working with a Pearl export kit, or really any 5-piece drum set, where you have a 12-inch rack tom, a 13-inch rack tom, a 16-inch floor, and a 22-inch bass. I haven't run anything for snare drum because all the heads I found were coated, and I'm trying to work just with clear drum heads. I'm a lot more easily able to calculate the density of the material if it's not frosted or coated. Anyway, let's start with our high tom, 12 inches, drum diameter 12. Drumhead gauge, working with a batter head, it's going to be an Evans G1 clear, that's 10 mil. And tune frequency. I went on to TuneBot's drum set tuning guide, and for a 3-tom setup, they recommended that the high tom have pitch of A2 or 110 hertz. Let's type that in. So we have a drumhead tension of 85.44 pounds. 85.44 lbs. You can see I wrote out a whole bunch of this before I even started, but some things I wanted to be able to record just for you. Okay, 85.44 pounds. Next, we're going to look at the resonant head. For the resonant head, we're going to use an Evans resonant glass that's 6.5, and we're going to have that tuned to a minor third above. That's a C3, 130.8 hertz. Let's do that now. Tension, drum diameter 12. Drumhead gauge is 6.5. Tune frequency 130.8. 30.8. So we have a drumhead tension of 78.52. Let's write that. 78.52 pounds. All right. Moving on. By the way, these aren't supposed to be something I recommend you tuning to. Or this is all numbers that I tried to Google for, and so if someone has never tuned before, they might have a good idea on what to look for and what conditions their drum heads would be under, what physical situation their drum heads are in. And these numbers are actually real. I went and looked some of this up, and the actual tensile strength of Mylar is 160 pounds per square inch, and so this is well within those safety ratings. And plus, these are pitches that are used. This is actually a pitch that's recommended. This is a pitch that would be used. This is all good. Okay, let's move on. Let's go that 13-inch tom. Okay, tension again, drum diameter. This time we're going to do 13 inches. Drumhead gauge, again, that's going to be a G1, 10 mil. Tune frequency is 87.3 hertz. 87.3 hertz. We have 68.42 pounds. 68.42 pounds. All right, moving on to the resonant head. Tension again, drum diameter 13, drumhead gauge 6.5 this time. Tune frequency minor third up, A flat 2 or 103.8. 103 point. Oop, sorry about that. 0.8. There we go. 62.87. You should have noticed by now with these two drums is that the batter head is under just a little bit less tension, even though it's tuned higher. That's because the mass is obviously a little bit less. Okay, let's move on to our floor tom, 16 inches in diameter. Okay, back to one. Tension, drum diameter 16. Drumhead gauge, we're using the G1. Yes. And the tune frequency we're using for the batter head is D flat 2 or 69.3. 69.3 hertz. We have 80.38. What? A sudden jump? Well, that you'll see happens all the time with guitar strings. Bass strings, the discrepancy is even larger. It's even more surprising. So looking at this, you may want to go back and instead select maybe for your 13-inch tom, you may want to select one of their, was it G12s, something like that? Maybe not even that, to be honest. You may want to pick a higher pitch. You know, just things to think about. 80.38 pounds. Now let's go on to that resonant head. 82.4 hertz. 82.4 hertz. 13-inch diameter. 6.5 mil head. Tune frequency. What was that? 82.4, right? Whoops. 82.4 hertz. Yes. Okay. Now hold up. 39.62. Let me do this again. I typed in 13 now, didn't I? Yes, I did. Drum diameter 16, drum head gauge 6.5, tune frequency 82.4. There we go. Okay, 73.87. 73.87 pounds. Okay, finally we're going to do that bass drum, 22-inch bass drum. 22 by 16 to be exact, but that's for a little bit. Tension, drum diameter 22 inches. For the batter head, we're going to be using again an Evans G1 clear. Okay, that means 10 mil. Tune frequency, now TuneBot recommended 61, which is a B, but I went with a tension of, was it 129? So I just decided to drop it down just a little bit to a G1 or 49 hertz. See, and even still, with a tensile strength of 160, tuned to a, what was it, a B1? That was 129, this is 104. 104.47. 4.47. Hope you can see that. Pounds. Now let's do that resonant head. Tension again, drum diameter 22. Drum head gauge, I'm going to be, I have a Pearl export that's in a what was it, wine red, so I like that black. So I picked an Evans Rezo black also. Again, it's not coated or anything like that, frosted. Anyway, 7 mil. The problem though is that since it's a different color, it's not clear, it's black. Technically, the Mylar is going to be a different density, so this number isn't going to be quite accurate. Given I also have no clue what density Mylar Evans actually uses, so please don't take these, it's just supposed to be a good guide. Anyway, tune frequency, B flat 1 or 58.3 hertz. 58.3. Okay, 22-inch diameter drum head gauge 7 mil, tune frequency 58.3. We have 103.52 pounds. And also, this tuning isn't meant to be musical, so again, it's just supposed to be something of a guide. Okay, now next up, I want to show you cavity resonance. Okay, this is really cool. Basically, the idea is, the reason that the reason, of course, that there's a vent in the shell so the air can move back and forth. But what that does is that also allows there to actually be a resonant pitch inside the drum. The air inside the drum has a resonant frequency, and this I wrote up to help you with that. Now, usually drums have a side hole, maybe one, maybe two, maybe many if you have one of those freaky looking drums. Or in the case of a Singer snare drum, of a Hinger space tone snare drum, you may have a Hinger space tone snare drum actually allows you to separate the top and bottom halves, which allows you to vastly tune the resonant pitch inside the drum, the cavity resonance. But since for one thing, I haven't finished that. But since we're not dealing with a Hinger space tone, we're dealing with a regular snare drum. Let's go side hole. Okay, how many vents? Usually, a drum's gonna have one. And for right now, I'm just recommending please let it be one size. Don't pick like 3 vents and they're all different sizes, like ½ inch, inch and a half, 1 inch. Okay, how many vents? Okay, the temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, temperature right now is 75. Interior drum diameter. I made a few assumptions, partially so you can better imagine what the drum is. I'm just making up that the bearing edges are a 45-degree cut with a round on the outside end, for, yeah, for all of these. So that's just so you can imagine it. That doesn't affect our resonance. And again, though this isn't going to be perfect, it's going to be very close so you can make a good guess as to what your actual resonant pitch is. You know, a good, very good ballpark. Anyway, interior drum diameter. Let's look at this. Drum interior diameter, 11 5/8. So that's going to be 11.625. Oh, sorry. 11.625. Yeah, it's a glitch right there. Don't worry about it. It does nothing. Drum depth. This is going, we are dealing with the 12-inch tom. This is actually a 12 by 10 tom. Again, Pearl export. Vent diameter, we're going to say it's 0.5 inches. And then the vent depth, I decided to go with the actual shell thickness, which even a 6-ply would be, was it 7.5? Yeah, 7.5 millimeters. But in this case, I just decided to say 0.25 inches. It comes out to like 6.35 millimeters, basically like a 5-ply instead of a 6. But again, that's supposed to be a good ballpark. You see that number? That isn't fake. That's a real number, and it's incredibly low. Now here's some usable frequencies that you can use. These use harmonics of that resonant pitch. These are all in hertz, so don't worry about that. But these are all pitches that you might be able to tune, say, your batter or your resonant head to, if you want the sound to be stronger, more powerful, more punch, whatever you want. Okay, and this will work with, you'll notice with the other heads, you're going to get with the other drums, we're going to get different pitches, and those are all supposed to be, all those numbers there are whole number multiples, meaning they are real. They are real, and they follow the harmonic sequence. Okay, cavity resonance. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to write that down. Let me see here. Resonant frequency. Okay, that was 1.5 hertz. Okay, wrote that down. Now let's move on to our 13-inch tom, which is 13 by 11. Cavity resonance, side holes, 1 vent, temperature 75. And really, that number actually comes into play. It's to do with the speed of sound through air. And obviously, even with changes in pressure and humidity, that's going to change. Believe it or not, the greater the humidity, the lower the density of air. But that's something for another day. I had to do a little bit of reading on that. Anyway, interior drum diameter, I'm going to say, where is that? 12 5/8, so 12.625. Okay, drum depth is going to be 11. Vent diameter, again, 0.5. And again, vent depth of 0.25. Okay, we have 1.31 hertz. Again, keep in mind that you have an even larger volume of air. I need to write this down. My apologies. Resonant frequency, 1.31 hertz. 1.31 hertz. Okay, cool. And here are some usable frequencies. And I just rounded these to the nearest hundredth. It's just so things can be even more precise. And they're supposed to be a good ballpark. Moving on. I really apologize for the shaking. I'm holding this and my hand is getting tired. Oh wow, this is really, really shaky. Again, I apologize. Cavity resonance. Let me just try to get through this. Side hole. How many vents? 1. Temperature 75. Interior, it's going to be 15 5/8, 15.625. Drum depth, 16. It's going to be a 16 by 16, yes. Vent diameter, 0.5. Vent depth, 0.25. Resonant cavity, drum cavity resonance. Seriously, 0.88 hertz. It does get that low. Resonant frequency, 0.88 hertz. I'm not even kidding. It gets that low. Okay, drum cavity resonance, 0.88 hertz. And here's some other usable frequencies. All harmonics of that resonant frequency, of that cavity resonance. And last but not least, the bass drum. Uh-oh, my battery's low. Side hole, how many vents? 1. Temperature, 75. Interior drum diameter for the bass drum, I'm going to say 21 5/8, 21.625. Drum Depth, that was a 16, I believe so. Yes, yes. Vent diameter, 0.5. Vent depth, 0.25. This is going to be incredibly low. Wait for it. Ah, no, not much lower, but even so. Let's see here. Forgot to write vent diameter. Vent diameter, 0.5 inches. Resonant frequency. All right. What was that? 0.64 hertz. The bass drum's tuned low enough as it is. But anyway, let's see those useful frequencies. All right. Those are pretty good. You've probably seen a couple of those earlier. We've already tuned a drum or two to them, so we may notice, you may notice some ringing if you use these honest-to-goodness values right here. Okay, here's another thing I wanted to point out. And I'm just going to go off this last one, drumhead modes. This modes are vibration modes of a drumhead are both separate themselves into diametric vibrations and then also circular vibrations. It looks like an X and Y coordinate, but it's just something, well, do some reading about it. Look at vibrational membrane modes, circular membrane modes of vibration, stuff like that. Anyway, drumhead tuning. Let's go off of our high tom, 110 hertz. These are some really wacky numbers, but they're honest-to-goodness numbers. The fundamental is your 110, and after that, you know, these are some of your, so if you know some harmonics, say like you're a sound engineer, or like you're able to hum that note and you go over your piano and you find it, these are some of the pitches you're going to find. They really are at 110 hertz. Okay, our next one is 87.3. Oh, drumhead tuning. 87.3, thank goodness. Okay, and there's ones for our 13-inch tom tuned to an F2, 87.3 hertz. And then we look at our floor tom, 69.3. 69.3. All right, we get those. All real numbers, all real numbers. And this is even the batter heads, y'all. Bass drum, batter pitch, 49 hertz. 49. And there you go. In fact, you know what, just for you, I'm going to run through the resonant head pitches, those harmonics for you. 130.8. 130.8. Give you those right there. Sorry about the glare, y'all. All right, drumhead modes. Let's look at that. Let's look at that 13-inch tom. 103.8. 103.8. Okay, you got those. All right, now we have our floor tom, 82.4 on the resonant head. 82.4, yes. Okay, there are those. And now finally the bass drum, 58.3. Drumhead modes, 58.3. Yep. And there you go. All right. And that's what I wanted to show you. Sorry I couldn't do the snare drum. Again, all the heads I saw were coated, and I really wanted to do a clear drum head, so it'd be more, a little closer numbers I could actually predict for you. Oh, let's get out of that 110. Okay, and back. Oh. 4, option 4, option 3. All right, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.